You know what's really awesome? This is a laugh and learn discussing the idea of receiving. And today I am joined by the amazing Hershe the Shadow Reader. Hello, Hershe.
Hello.
And
Hi.
amazing medium Betsy Palmer. Hello. And I am Tarot Stash. I am glad to be hosting this conversation. This is such an important topic, and it's a topic that has grown out of our ongoing conversations, and it's been so helpful. And so, before we say hello to the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, and the future lurkers. Hershe, give us an update about what's going on for you. How have you been?
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Every day is the blessing because I'm presently in it. So I'm in a good space.
Good. What about you, Betsy?
I think I'm on the roller coaster.
Yes.
There's not a whole lot that changes in my day-to-day life, but emotionally, every now and then it's just yeehaw.
Yeah. And there was conversation on the Twillo Talk or the Twillo Stash show last night about all of the things that are going on in the world and energetically. It's been crazy.
It's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot right now.
Yes. And so I would say everybody cut yourself a little bit of a break. Take a breath, drink some water. I don't know. And if you have a cool mug that makes Hershe jealous, great. That's even better. There you go. Hershe's looking around at Miles going, oh my God. So let's say hello to the best chatters. We've got Plucky Heroine is here. Hello, Plucky.
Aloha.
Good to see you. And Pamela is waiting patiently for the fun to begin. And Beth Espacia Rising is here. Hello. And we've got Kaylee Fogo Pogo, who hosted me on a show yesterday because yesterday was Canadian Thanksgiving. And that was a lot of fun. And Deanne, Blue Crescent Tarot, has joined us. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Jonathan Daly, hello. And I think he means 3 of my favorites. So, or 3 even, as he says, yes. And Pamela is hot soup lurking.
Not so bad.
Yeah. Kaylee is cow counting lurking. So love that.
Well, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Yes. And James Med 4 is here. Hello, James. Night mate before Xmas mug. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas mug. So that's good. Hot soup lurkers, there you go. And butterflies are free. Hello. So today we're talking about the idea of receiving. Now, this has come up through multiple conversations and has been building. So please like and subscribe to all of the channels. Links are included below, as are the videos. So if you want to catch up with them, they're really a good. They're really good to listen to in the background. You know what I mean? So they're really great. So So we're going to go
Would you
around
call
the
that binge listening?
binge listening. Oh yes, could certainly do that. So binge listening. Yeah. So here's the first question: is let's level the playing field and talk about what is receiving for each of you, and for those of you who are watching, what is receiving for you? Betsy, you want to go first?
Yeah, let me see if I can tackle that one, because it sounds like it's a short, simple sentence. It's just a question. It should be easy. Simple and easy are two different things, right?
Yes.
So receiving for me is woo, is allowing myself to let down my walls long enough to accept something that is being offered.
Eloquently said. Very nicely said. Plucky said grace. So, and Hershe, what is receiving for you?
Well, first I'm going to piggyback that. So absolutely, I needed to hear that as well. It's something I'm struggling with. I I was this year's old when I started resonating that receiving had a good side. I didn't know receiving to have a good side, literally physically, until this year when I realized there was nothing attached to the compliment, the gift, the energy or time that I shared with that individual. So it's something I'm still struggling with, learning from ups and downs, the roller coaster, unsure of, wondering, is there something hidden dialogue that I'm unaware of that's, going to come back because there's an IOU attached, or I could go on, but it's something I'm still learning about.
That's really powerful. Thank you. And congratulations on learning that lesson. I don't care how old you were, but congratulations. So, Pamela shared, receiving involves a component of non-judgment for me.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And Maru is here. Hello. And Beth said, for me, receiving good stuff is easy. The work for me is to trust in karma and the wheel enough to receive things I don't want with calm, things that cause pain or fear. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And Maru said,
feel that.
Working on remembering to be grateful for everything. Well, that's a definitely a process.
And so you, sir, please.
Yes. Receiving for me is that allowing something to come to me, and to be able to take it in, sit with it, and believe it. Oftentimes for me, receiving is things that are, the graciousness of people, the offering of help and kindness. So, because a big struggle for me with receiving is why would anyone want to give something to me? I don't know if that resonates for anything else, but for anyone else, but it's like, yeah, it's like, huh. And yeah. So, and we've got more questions, so I can build on that too. So,
I know it was a process for me being able to accept a compliment. It took me a long time to be able to just say thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that because the a great response to a compliment is simply thank you. It's a complete sentence.
Right.
And so, I mean, and I've actually told people, when they've argued with me, when I'm trying to offer them something and I want them to receive, I've gone, the correct answer is thank you. Oh, no, no, no. And I'm like going, no, the correct answer is thank you. And I'm like going, I will win this argument. What are you saying?
that right there, what you just said. Y'all, I don't like talking about who I used to be because I'm not that way anymore. But when I look at the perspective of receiving, I never, okay. When it came from somebody like my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, the receiving wasn't the same as somebody that was outside of them. So, because of the way I had to receive some of the things that was literally dished to me by the people that said they loved me, that hindered the outside. The outside person got judged harshly, usually wrongly, almost always. I was usually deceiving myself. I was fooling myself. I would make it something that it wasn't. So that concept, all you can say is thank you, I think is a statement in itself, because there's literally nothing you can do but receive it. Like I'm gonna send it to you whether you want it or not. Open it, respect it, or do anything. You have to respect that from that person that's sending it to you, because they're not gonna let your stubbornness, hard-headedness, fear, insecurities, or doubts within yourself stop them from giving. So I'm learning a lot here, guys. That's all I can tell you. Is I'm over here going pondering. Oh wow.
I'm glad that's happening. Wow. We have a few other people who've put some, the best chatters are bringing it, by the way. I see Betsy noticing that is Deanne said, my biggest challenge related to this is when others don't want to receive. It took me a long time to understand that perspective. And I get that. I get that. So, and Jonathan shared, receiving the good is easy. It's receiving the lessons and hard stuff that I have a harder time with.
Mine's the exact opposite. I expect that. I expect the shoe to drop. Where's the receipt? I don't. This empty. There's nothing there. Just love, hope, respect, and lifting. Is like, wait, it's awful light. Oh, it's the exact opposite.
Isn't that interesting? The different perspective on that. So, yeah. Plucky said, for a long time, receiving was a gift or a lesson from the universe. However, now I've distilled it to grace. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I like that word.
Yes. And Deanne is I'm awesome at receiving, LOL, and giving. Yes. And I think it's beautiful to have a balance of both. So B is here. Hello, B. And Pamela said, receiving a perfectly ordinary day is my greatest gift. It's very nice. Beth said, my dad always complimented me. I learned early.
Lucky you.
Yeah, very lucky you.
Right?
Lucky you.
No daddy over here, so yeah, lucky.
Yeah. Maru said, I'm a giver and I know how good it feels. I think it's important to allow others to feel that joy by receiving graciously. Well, and doesn't that bring us to an interesting point that you were having that you shared, Betsy, backstage, giving and receiving?
The Course in Miracles thing is that giving and receiving are the same thing. What you give to yourself. So, right. So it's a whole bit about giving without expectation of being rewarded. So it's an unconditional giving, but also receiving unconditionally without expecting a need to reciprocate. So that's it. Yeah, it it expands pretty quickly on that one.
Yeah, but I think it's a great thing there because it is a balance. You're right. And that idea is in order to receive, someone has to be willing to give. And there has to, in order for someone to give, someone has to receive. And there's a beauty and a grace in that. And I think
There's also the vibes thing too. What you put out, you attract. That's a big part of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very true. More people have come in. So Kim B is here. And I did see Debbie Fitzsimmons. B has said for me, being able to receive is acknowledging my self-worth.
Ta-da!
Fan thwarp worthy.
And there it is. Sip, sip.
Yes. Everybody cheers to that one. Thank you, B.
Because there is that, right? Some of us were through conditioning or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And worth, yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm. And Deanne has answered Jonathan. Jonathan said, I think I figured out years later that they felt undeserving, so it's difficult to receive.
Well, and just as we were saying with the last statement, if you have internalized being unworthy, then you don't deserve to get nice stuff if you're not worthy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Joyful Journey is here. Hello. Debbie Fitzsimmons shared, I have a hard time receiving because I'm always worried about what strings are attached with it, which is something Hershe brought up. Yeah.
Hershe, go girl.
Keep talking about that, Hershe.
Get the bit in the teeth and go. And
Woo, baby. You walked in our similar parallel paths. I get it. I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And well,
But
and I think
you know what? I jumped ahead just for a second. The unworthiness, right? That B was it B that just said something about them not feeling. I was them.
it
I
was
didn't feel
Deanne.
like I
Yeah.
deserved it because I was not or Deanne. Sorry. I didn't feel like I deserved it, even when there was no consequence, no string, there was no shoe that was going to drop, there was no IOU, there was no receipt, nowhere. Receipts didn't even exist in that person's eyes, but I didn't know that because I didn't give them that chance because I truly felt like, well, I don't deserve that anyway. I'm not carrying that with me because there's something carrying on my conscience, my weight. That's all kinds of extra weight I'm going to be carrying. I was very cold, distant. So, gosh, yes. You guys know me better than I know myself. Look at this. That makes so much sense.
Well, it's that idea of that there's a tally. And someone is going to expect you to do something for them. So if you don't accept it, then you don't owe them anything. So
there you go. Yep.
The tally.
Yep.
That's
I would feel like I would rather have you in my pocket. That's exactly it. My cousin Spike used to say, I'd rather have you in my pocket than me in your pocket. Like, meaning I'd rather you owe me a favor than me owe you one. So he never received it. So I'm telling you, I came from a family that did not receive well. We gave good, but we didn't always receive the best. So,
but even then, the giving,
I'm liking I'm not the only one.
If the giving is done banking a future need, what is that? That's putting someone in obligation.
I would call it an IOU.
Yeah, it's setting someone up with an obligation. So that really isn't giving.
No, and I do think.
Well, I know that now.
Well, yes, and
I think 20 years ago. I needed this conversation 20 years ago. I'm serious.
But I will say to that, Hershe, you're having the conversation now because you bring something important to it. Did you hear me?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there's something real special. Yes, I did. And there's something real special who I'm having the conversation with. So I'm kind of glad it didn't come 20 years ago when I clearly needed it, or when I wanted it, but I clearly need it right now. So, and the company that I get to have it with is some pretty cool people, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I'm just being biased, maybe.
Well, there you go.
I'm talking about Betsy for those of you who don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some people that don't know our backstory, right? Well, to sum it up, the cousin Spike that Hershe just mentioned was a boyfriend of mine years ago. Sort of. I wouldn't call him a boyfriend. I would call
Small world.
him boy that was a friend. That anyway, we'll get Spike on to explain that one.
Anyway.
Wait a minute. He still owes me a favor.
Boy.
He still owes me a favor too. You know what? Yeah.
There you go. Pamela did say that she loves that, Betsy, that the two are the same. Giving and receiving are the same. So
right. When you think about it energetically, right? The energy that you are emanating is your spell that you're casting, and that is how the universe responds to us. So yeah.
Definitely. And okay. Yeah.
Yes, Deanne, it's true.
Gift giving definitely is a big part of my love language. That and cooking. I'm more a queen of pence than of cups. And, and the love languages, that's a whole different show. But, gifts are, a way that people can do that. So, and Joyful Journey, it was similar. Everything was given to me with conditions and expectations. So
yeah,
it's hard to trust at times. Absolutely.
Right.
Candy Soul and Soil is here. Hello, Candy.
Aloha, darling.
So it's great to see you.
And Gerald, I'm getting nudged by my guides to ask you to put up your second bullet point.
Why is it important?
They're like kicking me in my brainstem. So please, thank you.
There you go. And okay. And Beth said, to play devil's advocate, we all had people in our lives who do keep a tally. It's just annoying. Of course we do. So,
but I think if we're completely honest, we do carry some ourselves. I don't know that we can be exempt from that.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. So, all right. So the next question, why is it important to be able to receive? Because I think this is one of those things. I feel there is in the universe, there's an energy exchange. And if I am able to receive, and then I am with that, I can give and share. I prove to the universe that I am a good conduit for that energy. And then the universe, for me, allows it to flow through me. And I have more opportunities to do that. So I have to get much better at being willing to accept things and to say thank you and to receive graciously, and realize that sometimes people just want to give, so someone has to be able to receive. So, So what about you, Betsy?
It was all in my head for a minute and I was holding on to it so hard. Okay, I'm going to go kind of Taoist Buddhist on this one and say that holding grievances is a part of why we come here and reincarnate over and over again, to learn how to let go of any attachment to anything. So refusing to allow yourself to receive kindnesses and the good stuff means you're holding a grievance against yourself. And so forgiveness and self-worth, blah, blah, blah. If you're saying, I don't deserve this kindness, this is too much, you're being too kind to me, it's overstepping my comfort level, means that you are holding a grievance against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That also means then that you're not allowing anyone else to come close to you.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I am speaking of receiving. I've just been delivered a package. I will be right back. Hershe, feel free to jump in there, or you two manage this.
Yes, please. Thank you. Hershey is deep in thought.
And you know what? I can't even formulate the word. I don't formulate. I don't know what the words are. I don't know. I literally don't know, guys. I don't know. I am so new to receiving. I don't know what I did in my 1 year age. You know, I was one. I'm sure I was held a lot, I hope, hugged and kissed and loved on. And I'm sure I received all kinds of stuff. And I didn't know that there was anything that was ever going to come bad in my life. Other than that, I have 46 more years of what happened. Where did I lose me? Where did I go to the smartest, darkest, craziest, loophole-ish, undeserving place to feel like I, myself, something that came from the greatest source ever, is undeserving of something? How did I lose me along the way? Where did I lose me? How far and how long is it going to take me to find me? Where do I start? Where do I go? Do I go backwards? Do I step backwards? Yeah. So I literally have no idea how to answer this question. There's no way to make the words in my brain and my heart and my soul come out unless what I just said was understandably having any kind of blueprint, because that's literally the stage I'm at. I'm in a blueprint kind of stage of figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. I think, I missed part of that, but, something that it makes me think of is when I first started to learn how to accept and start to believe compliments, allow somebody to give me a compliment, I would say thank you. And then depending upon the person, I could say I'm learning to allow that I'm learning to accept that compliment is true about me. So it was this that was in therapy. And so it's okay to go, thank you. I don't necessarily believe you, but I'm working at it. And that was actually really helpful. It gave me an opportunity to go, this is awkward. It feels weird to be able to receive. So
It sounded to me like you were describing the gray area. And for those of us who've gone to therapy, the black and white, at least the comfort in the black and white is the absolute yes or no of it all, that this 100%, and how doing the inner work involves being comfortable with the gray area. And so by you saying, I'm learning how to be comfortable with that, allows you to sit in the gray area without an expectation of going one way or the other.
good point.
That is just absolutely brilliant. It is taking you away from the absoluteness of what has to be or what cannot be. And that's powerful.
That's really good. Thank you for that. I needed to hear that. I want to get caught up in some of the chat because Beth said, important. I think being able to receive a gift, material or otherwise, is a measure of our self-worth. Good way to check in and maybe do some searching.
Yeah.
So, and Plucky did share, it expands the relationship, whether with oneself or others. And ENC has arrived. Candy has shared, I used to go under before I would ask for help or receive help. It is a trauma response. It's hard to change when life has taught you it's dangerous to say yes to anything, especially help.
Yeah.
Self-esteem work for me was
yes.
was the main thing that helped me receive, helped me put up boundaries to mean people. That's a really beautiful point, that, you know, having that self-esteem allows you to set those boundaries. So, and then Beth shared, so true, Candy, soul and soil. I was thinking about it this morning. I grew up knowing if I didn't do it, I wouldn't get it. Taught me resourcefulness, but totally 10 of wands a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to carry it. Yeah. So,
And for those that this resonates with, then the relationships that we find ourselves being involved with later on is very similar. That, you know, the people that we want to give to people that have this void that needs to be filled, because that's what we're used to. And that kind of giving into that void can be very costly,
it can be.
because eventually the people that have the void that they're not able to fill for themselves, obviously we cannot either, and sooner or later they're going to be really angry at us that we've not filled their void.
Yeah. And Hershe, I want to make sure that you see this. You are a treasure, Hershe.
Oh. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Candy has also shared, it's important to be able to receive because it helps you find the people who want to give, the kinder people. It put you in a flow. You lot in this community honestly taught me that. Aw. So, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Hello, Y, Joanne Miranda, and Andrea. So, wow. This is an important topic. It's hard to talk about, isn't it?
It is for me. It is for me. I mean, I'm usually honest and I'm pretty transparent, but I didn't realize where we started all those months ago with this series that it was going to end right here, and I was literally going to be sitting on a stump pondering questions like this. It didn't see me putting more of me out there in a way to prove that it's okay to change. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. If y'all knew how uncomfortable I was right now, my anxiety is somewhere floating just below the ceiling, and I am incredibly feeling vulnerable right now, but I'm not scared. I'm not nervous. I feel safe, but I'm also still growing, still learning, still leveling up. Yeah, I do a lot of things that make a lot of people feel like I'm incredibly this or incredibly that. But what I am is I'm an inner child that has been restitched and sewn back together so many times. I just now am finding who I really am and who I really want to put out there. So these kind of conversations, I had no idea were going to touch me in places that were going to help me to receive the change, not just talk about the change.
And I would like to side note here, hun, you're receiving today. Just because I'm a jerk like that.
Well, see, and here's the beautiful thing about that is that we can hold space for people in that perfect way, like what this is for you, Hershe, because if Betsy didn't do it, I was going to do it. And so
I don't think it would have reached the same level. Don't take it personal.
No, I'm
Betsy
not.
can hit notes that other people can't hit personally because she knows where I came from. To say what I came from to a person that does not have that background or physically see it, they can't relate, Gerald. I don't mean that to be rude, disrespectful, or cold-hearted, or
It's
just
not.
off.
It's honest.
I'm literally saying if you've never walked it, It's
Yep.
exactly, and that's all it is. She literally knows. Literally, that's why I think when I wanted to have the conversation maybe 20 years ago, the universe was like, "Oh hell to the no, no, no! We got something so much better for you. Just keep holding on, holding on, holding on. Keep living this way because we're going to slowly wing you into bam. Here we are right now today. And because it's the person that I am sitting here honorably with, not only do I respect the hell out of her, I know where she's been. I know a little bit about her not having a string attached. There's no way there's a string attached. I wouldn't have thought that with
Right.
you either, but I know she knows. She knows. If nobody else knows, she knows. Or like my aunts, one of my aunts. That's what I see this. That's why I think it's happening this way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm safe. I'm in Uncle G's spot, but I needed to hear this from Betsy.
Shared history. It's why you can talk about stuff with your siblings that only your siblings and your family members can get, the ones that actually walk through it with you. That
Mhm.
there's a raw honesty to it that sometimes other people, if you didn't experience it, maybe it just lands a little differently. So yeah, that's totally
Yes.
Exactly.
valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hershey, I completely understand what you mean. So, right, and I'm glad we're here.
Oh yeah, I
in that.
wasn't like shooting you in your foot.
Nope.
I know the reach it's getting right now. It's like, oh
Yeah, it's
I
great.
felt that.
And
I didn't know I could still feel there. Yep, I felt that.
good. Receiving is receiving a gift is easy. Accepting help can be harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can? Oh, okay. Wait, let me ponder this. You see, I think about the same for me. Let me think.
Yeah. I know
like
it's a
that.
lot
I
easier
like
for me to drive someone to the airport than to ask someone to drive me to the airport.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Hmm.
I could see that. Yeah.
And why shared? As a giver, it's hard to accept until I remember that I need to let others enjoy the act of giving also. That's very true, because if I don't accept, I am denying someone the opportunity to give. If I don't receive, there's this, it's what they're one and the same. Giving and receiving are the same.
Intimacy is the ability to give back and forth, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what intimacy is?
Mhm.
Whether it's spoken, whether it's action, whether it's energetic, it's an exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Thomas, tarot your way. Do you know Thomas Hershey? Have you ever met him?
Brother Thomas. No. Nope. Don't know.
Yeah. Pamela said, giving and receiving acknowledges our connections, and not only to not only each other, but but our Earth. That's an interesting statement. Thank you, Pamela. Wow.
I had somebody in the 90s tell me this, that I was hanging out with the Baha'is at the time. There's this tribe of 30-something couples. It was awesome. And there was a family emergency, and one couple needed to fly right away to the location. And so one person just called everybody up and said, how much are you making the check? They need to go. And I at that time I responded, I don't know if I have. And she's like, hey, no, look, money's round. It rolls away from you and it rolls right back.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. And yeah, and I have found that just grows the whole, I guess it's, in church they call it tithing, but I think just giving, like I love to give to the food bank, and it does feel like whatever I give is multiplied pretty, and sometimes it's so fast, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, definitely. And Janet Lee G said, Hershey, sometimes I refer to it as a beautiful patchwork quilt.
Oh,
That idea of being torn down and then stitched back together. So
I love that. Now I'm hearing the coat of many colors in my head.
there you go. There you go. And oh, she's showing us something. Yeah, there you go.
What's your tat, hon?
It says, "I myself am entirely I myself am made entirely of flaws stitched together with good intentions." And it's literally a zigzag line with surgical staples going all the way through it, like it's been restapled back up.
I love that.
It is my stop the pain, repay the happiness. They are my reminders of what I am no longer and what I am now.
I do want to put this up from Candy. I have a textile artwork of a beach that taught me it's safe to receive and that the world is good. Thank
Oh,
you.
Wow,
So,
that sounds wonderful.
so you know, you can see that on my channel. There's a video about it. So, oh, here you go. Admitting you need help makes you vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes. Yes, and that's scary.
Yes, yes, it is.
That's really scary.
It's walking a tight wire with no bar to hold on to.
I'm getting the nudge again, Gerald.
Yes, ma'am. um, and okay, and now they are delivering the stuff now. Okay, and Janet Lee G said, "OMG, Hershe, I am floored. I love it." So, okay, receiving also helps you see all the invisible everyday gifts that a state of gratitude and receiving opens your eyes to, and it's full of potential. It's full of potential. A state not closed down and locked behind walls. That's true. So, hi, Michelle Marie. Good to see you. So how have you learned to be receptive in your life? I'm still learning. I'll start because I posted the question. I'm still learning. It's hard, and it's sometimes it's and okay. And so here I'm not discounting my own experience when I listen to other people's. It's just my experiences are my experiences, and they're equally valid as other people's. They're different. And part of me goes, you know what, Gerald, calm down and just say, I could use some help. And then because people are looking for an opportunity, and when they say yes, accept it graciously and genuinely. That, you know, that's really powerful. So Hershe, what about you?
I think that ED on the end of that would make me not qualified to answer this question. I haven't learned. I haven't learned it. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still for some reason, sometimes it's much easier for me to handle the constructive criticism or the girl, you need to get it, blah, 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 much easier than I can the here you go. Here. No, it's an empty hand. Here you go. It's like a blank check. Take it. Take it. So with the ED there, I don't know how I don't feel I should answer it. I'm still learning. I don't know. I have not learned. I have not got to the period yet. I don't know.
Okay.
I still am so much of a roller coaster. I don't know.
Here, I'll be that guy.
Yeah, that's an easy change.
How are you learning to be receptive in your life? Here, and I'll even be more of a jerk.
I'm loving it. You guys, I gotta admit, I'm actually loving it. The hardest thing to realize is that I was the most gorgeous horse that everybody dog walked and horse walked their whole life, and now I've been set out to a field that's gorgeous, and I'm running in this pasture. I've got all these other wild stallions running with me, and I am learning how to be free of the extra weight I was carrying for no dang on good reason, except for myself. I was in my own way, and I'm loving it. I'm learning, I'm growing, and every speed bump is another chance for me to step back, humble myself, and remember it's about the grace, the gratitude, the humble. It's not about the material value. It's the fact that it's life-changing knowledge for me that opens me up to more people, more opportunities, and I'm literally loving it.
Yeah, that's great. Betsy, how are you learning to be receptive?
So, part of this for me is my examination of anxiety, because I came to realize that anxiety for me wasn't my fear of what might happen in the future, but how I would respond to what happens, and then worry about the future fallout of my own actions. So how that comes about is I was looking for evidence of having the worst thing happen so I could justify anxiety. And what I discovered was the evidence was that the universe sent me the perfect thing in the perfect time every time, consistently. And things worked out all the time. I mean, I have looked at homelessness more than once in my life, especially when I was really young, right out of high school. Working at the track, the season comes to the end. What are you going to do next? Well, I don't know. Nobody offered me a job to go anywhere. I don't know what's going to happen. And people would step in and say, well, come over to our house. And that started a pattern that has just continued throughout my life. So learning to receive for me is learning to accept that the universe has my back always, and does provide for me not only just the things that I need, but also a heck of a lot of goodies. I get a lot of really cool stuff, and to trust that the universe is there to do that. So that is receptive for me in the big picture. As far as personal relationships, now I can let somebody treat me to a meal. I can receive hand-me-downs. I had a friend that she used to give me all her hand-me-downs, and I loved it. I've had lots of people open their homes to me. Oh, well, you got 3 months, just come stay at my place. It'll be fine. So just knowing that even without me speaking anything, that the universe has got my back, to me has allowed me to be able to receive it with the grace and the thanks and the humility of thank you guys. Just thank you for taking care of me. Thank you.
Yeah. And that is a beautiful process, and that is definitely that's a flow. That's that exchange, isn't it? And
divine intervention, because there was a lot of times that it was pretty sketchy out there, but in reviewing the history, in reviewing the historical evidence, I cannot deny that there is something at work beyond me that cares for me deeply, and I don't know how or why I deserve it, but I just am grateful that I do.
Yeah. Petey is here. Hello, Petey.
Ditto.
And she said, I understand that, Betsy. And so and
do
Eva
I.
is here. Yeah, that's so great. Okay. So there's been some great chat. This is why we like to do this. So a couple of people have said like Maru said, being desperately poor teaches you the need to receive. Yes, definitely. And receiving also helps us see the invisible gifts. I think I already said that. No, wait a minute. To see all the invisible everyday gifts that state of gratitude and receiving opens our eyes to. And it's full of potential, a state not closed down and locked behind walls. Apparently, I needed just to say that again. So we're going to go with that. And Janet Lee G said, for me, being self-sufficient was conditioned. So it is hard to be vulnerable, but I am leaning toward a more helping each other mindset for community.
Yeah.
Very good. And I was talking with somebody recently about the idea of a vulnerability hangover. It's like when you've shared so much and you've been so vulnerable, it's like I just need to isolate myself because I can't do anymore. I can't people today. Lucky said, in an odd way, maybe it was studying the principles of feng shui, specifically what creates and thwarts energy flow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And Jonathan said, when we're open to receiving, then our guides are able to communicate with us better than when we are feeling undeserving and blocking our channels of receiving. True. B
That
has
sounds
shared.
like something Miles would say.
Do you need me to leave it up there so Miles can say it to you?
I literally can hear him saying that. That literally sounds like words he would say.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I want to put this up. B has shared, by remembering who I am, what is my essence, where I came from, also by recalling, recognizing how my amazing mom was cheerleading me into adulthood and how much faith she has always had for me, how lucky I was and am.
Yeah.
That's
That's
beautiful.
great. That's
very,
great.
very beautiful.
Yes. And I also think, I do feel that idea of giving and receiving, offering and receiving, oftentimes we never know the impact that we've had on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I'm never going to know, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, and be okay with that. Joanne Miranda said, Hershe, I'm still processing that I am finally free.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And PD said, I have lots of anxiety issues, but that's helped me get through too. Yeah. And how I have learned, 1, value myself enough to walk away people who want to take and break people. 2, trust myself and find the good people. 3, trust that the good people are indeed that good people.
Yeah. That's a key right there, huh?
That is fan thwarp worthy. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is so true. And I'm really impacted by the first statement, value myself enough to walk away.
That's where I'm at. I kind of stopped right there. Yep, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah. And
I haven't got the 2 and 3 yet, but that is a future goal. I love that. Well, I mean, to be confident, to just let it flow out. I mean, I couldn't even find the words. So, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. We've got this beautiful gem here. But and I also think what's coming up for me is that number 1, value myself. I have to receive that I value myself enough to walk away from people. I have to value myself. Oh, and I'm getting some nice little clicks. I have to value myself enough to let go of the junk that is cluttering my path so that I can have more space for other things that are going to make me
Oh my
ridiculously happy. So,
See, and for me, number 2 is the kicker, because I know I
Really?
believe in number 3. Yeah, I can do number 1, and I 100% believe number 3. But for me, it's my picker, because the people that I resonate with are typically the ones that have the void. You know, that chemical burst thing. That is so me. So yeah, that's the kicker for me. There is choosing differently from the beginning.
yeah.
Choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a yes. Yes. So, damn, best chatters are bringing it. Pamela said I traveled for several months in Europe, and was humbled by the generosity of strangers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I love that because how is it that you don't know you were exactly what they needed to have show up in their life? You know. So.
Yep.
And we all deserve it, Beth said, accept from the universe and be grateful and give back when you can.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I want to put this up. Michelle Marie said we were burglarized last week, so we're focused on healing by accepting the loss, letting go of attachment to things, and cultivating gratitude for each other. Resilience is our receptivity. I'm sorry that happened. Yeesh. Yeah. Yeah. Jonathan reminds you, Hershe, Miles talks through me sometimes.
Oh, I know. You're his
Okay.
favorite person sometimes.
Don't you think learning that you don't have to overgive is part of this?
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to be an over hater, overgive, overpromise myself, say yes to everything. Then people giving sensibly felt insulting. I mean, oh yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
that's well said, Candy. Yeah, and that would have made so hard to would so hard to be around. Richie Longman Tarot is here. Hello, Richie. So, and LaSalvio is 78 today, and I feel like my life has always happened to me without much planning. My careers, my travel, it is all still turning out well. Universe in charge. Congratulations for that. That's beautiful.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday. And yes, I would agree with that too.
Yeah. So, okay. To Candy's point, you sometimes also must value yourself enough to know that you'll be okay, aka better alone or without a person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Betsy, the broken picker. I know that. I'm still chasing wrong, and I don't jump in until I let them show themselves now.
Yeah, I'm just really selective about who I hang out with and who I spend time with. Yeah.
Thank you for spending time with me. I'm feeling a lot of love coming from you right now. I'm getting emotional about it. So thank you. Wisdom Seeker Joan is here, has been working and walking and listening.
Oh, I love walking and listening. I do that with Terry's meditations a lot.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow we at 4 p.m. Eastern, we are doing Channel-rama with Terry, holding your space.
Yep.
So
Stop by, say hi, bring a
yes.
question.
Yeah. Deanne said, what Candy said is what happens with my friend. I couldn't have keep up with her. When I gave to her, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, the void.
Yep. And Candy Soul and Soil, you have been such a light of wonder to me. Isn't that lovely? That's true.
Oh, my notification just went off that
That we're going to go live.
we're going to go live in an hour. Yeah. Told you. I've been getting that wrong a lot lately. It's too funny.
Yeah.
Was there one last thing on your prompts, Gerald?
Yes. How can we learn to be comfortable in receiving? I'm going to start with this one. To realize that being comfortable with receiving is uncomfortable, and you have to do it regularly so it feels less, and it's not necessarily uncomfortable, it's awkward because it's something new. We're not good at it. And it's like, okay, I'll do it here, then I'll do it there. So it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah. Training wheels. Starting with things that feel manageable, right? And practice it. Yeah. It's like any other skill that you're trying to develop or any other trait that you're trying to cultivate. It does take practice, and it does. You need to have some dedication there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any thoughts on this, Hershe? How can we learn to be comfortable in receiving?
Take the training wheels off and just put yourself in the gray. I mean, those are literally the best words I have heard today, and I'm gonna stay there. I'm learning. I'm literally learning. So it is uncomfortable. It's learning to believe and trust that, outside of a close loved one, that someone that would be a stranger would want to help is an area I'm learning to get comfortable with, or at least become comfortable in the uncomfortable of knowing that there is good intentions with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just got a ding that when we are gifted something, that it is it's the demonstration of showing how we have affected others, and it's the equal reciprocation from the universe.
Interesting.
So for the times people are reaching out
and receiving is the same thing.
Yeah, it's a clear demonstration of what you have given that has helped others. And it doesn't necessarily mean, if Gerald says, I look cute today, and I say thank you, it doesn't mean because I said Gerald looked cute yesterday. It's not a direct reciprocation. It's more of a universal energetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. And I think okay, so Candy said, getting used to saying thank you with an open heart and letting that be enough. Oh, yes. 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 So I also have to say, never discount a handwritten thank you note, because boy, when I've had a rough day, I have a stack of thank you notes that I look at and I go, wow, that's, I feel that love. So,
and also saying thank you for simple things like, so you get a drink at Starbucks, to look at the person that's handing it to you and say thank you genuinely. Just the smallest of that, because then that is what comes back.
Yes, that's interesting. I was at the pharmacy on Sunday. It wasn't ready. I went, okay. I came back. Half of it was ready. And I'm like, going, okay. So I talked to somebody, and, the person was obviously very tired and very stressed. And I'm like going, I'm like, going, okay, thank you. And basically I said, you know what? I appreciate it. I get it. So, and I simply said, thank you. And I said, send me a text. And I'm like, I'll get it by Thursday. I got it today. And it was like, just be genuinely thankful with gratitude, open heart, as Candy said. And by the way, make it awkward, for your children. When they do something, let them know the impact. Hershe, you were going to say something. Were you going to say something?
I was. I don't think so.
Okay. That said, I would start with questions. Ask yourself questions, maybe even in a bathtub. Let your mind go where it goes and jot down your responses. Then keep asking. Not receiving is our past shit. And here you go. Janet Lee G said, to me, it seems like a trust issue. I think I've protected myself for too long. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Practice saying thank you every day. So, here you go. Use glimmers to help you. Yep, we'll be doing glimmers again in December. You can, by the way, you can do glimmers all of the time. And
Oh, wait, I just got another nudge too. Sorry.
yes,
That if we're afraid to receive because we think that we will then owe a debt, to imagine that the debt will be equally as glorious as the gift we were given. That we get to pass on a glorious gift instead of paying a price for it, to reimagine it as then we will have the opportunity to demonstrate that goodwill for others. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that all the time, guys.
Yes. Beth said, yes, Betsy, I got an exam recently and I thanked the nurse and told her I appreciated her, and perhaps she didn't hear that a lot. Her eyes welled up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here you go. I see a gift as proof of love and care, and just let myself be happy about it.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. And, and it's just like, I bet that comment is hot. So, yeah. I mean, anything else, Betsy? Your guides are nudging you beautifully. So thank you for that.
Yeah, a lot of it for me that I have learned about this stuff really didn't begin until I moved to Hawaii, and with the culture thing here is because people express gratitude regularly, out loud in public, total strangers, and I hadn't been exposed to that in America before. That was so individualistic and, achieve and drive and push yourself and all that kind of stuff. And so really the biggest part for me has just been living in a culture that is big on giving and gifting and giving back and taking care of each other. So I would give the credit to people that are demonstrating that for me every day here.
In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind. I something I thought about, I jotted it down, is if you're struggling with, how to learn to be comfortable in receiving, it might be helpful to do something nice just for you that you want, and to give yourself permission to do it. If you want a big cup of coffee from a fancy store and you've saved up money, go do that and go enjoy that without any apology. And it's okay. I will also say, the young people around us learn how to receive by watching us.
Yeah.
So I learn how to receive by watching you and other people. So, but okay. Hershe, any thoughts before we end? I'm putting Hershe on the spot.
I think no, it's I'm in another spot than where I was when I sat down to have this conversation. So I don't know if I am ready to just, say okay and just, dump into the deep end with it, because I know my stinking thinking and my monkey mind is gonna say, they trying to buy me. I don't want that gift. No way. So I know I'm not there, obviously, clearly, because brain immediately went there.
Of course.
But I'm in a different spot than what I was when I sat down. So thank you for this.
You're welcome. Thank you both. Thank you, everyone who's watching this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I have a feeling we've got a couple of more shows that we can schedule, because I don't know about you. I'm finding these extremely powerful and great things to think about and to write about. And here you go. We can hear it in your voice, Hershe. So,
I feel better.
My Course in Miracles mentors that said taught me the only thing that's required of us is to have a pin dot's worth of willingness, and Spirit will take care of the rest. So
absolutely.
that, I think, Hershe, you're in that pin dot moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's writing that down. And Candy Soul and Soil said, Hershe, one step at a time, lovely lady. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We will see you later. And take care. Bye.
Ahui ho.